one bathroom. Welcome back to Zacchus. I'm so glad you joined me for another video. This is gonna be a really cool video for any of you guys who are thinking about doing international flying or have done it and you're looking for tips and tricks to make it better. This is all about Dallas to London, or the United States to London, however you want to look at it. This is my experience of flying to London from Dallas this year, and some tips and tricks I learned. Come along for the ride. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna give you 6 or 7 tips here. Let's start with number 1, check-in and luggage. So with international traveling, it's a little different than domestic traveling. With domestic traveling, you can check in on your app, you can show up. If you don't have any checked baggage, you can just go through security. With international travel, you do have to go to the desk and check in. You have to show your passport and all that kind of stuff. And nowadays, depending on where you're traveling, you may have to show a negative COVID test. And depending on where you're traveling, that can be a rapid test you do at home or a PCR test that you have to do at a lab, which can cost you up to $250 to $500 per test, depending on, you know, where you're going, what you're doing, and where you go to what lab you go to. Let's just forget about COVID though, because that's all dying away and disappearing, thank God. So you got to go a little early for your international flights. We recommend 3 hours. That's been our pretty sweet spot, because you got to go there either by Uber, or if you're going to park, certainly need time to find a parking place, get all your stuff. You're normally going to take a checked bag too, because you're traveling across the world and you want to take a little bit more with you. Whatever, unless it's just like a really quick weekend trip, but most people are going for a week or 2. So you want to have time to get checked in. There could be long lines. You got to take a little extra time, you know, to show your passport and stuff and make sure you're all good to go, right? And then get through security and all that stuff. We chose to go to Dubai on business class. It's our first business class trip, and our first leg was what this video is about, is Dallas to London. And so we purchased our tickets on British Airways, but as a partner, American Airlines takes the first leg from America to London. So we flew an American airline, Boeing 777, a Boeing 777-300ER, or 77 wide, however you want to say it. Really nice jet, very, very nice jet. And getting on is really easy. You will have to show your passport again. Usually when you're getting on board along with your ticket, you will only be allowed your carry-on, a personal item, and if you bought any snacks, which I'll get into in step 3, I'll talk about that, but you need to make sure that it's in store bags and not in like a bag that looks like you brought it from home, because we made that mistake. And they pulled us out of line. We had to take all of our drinks and snacks and put them back into the plastic store bags, because we had brought a bag to like just pop them all into to help us carry it. And they're like, oh no, you know, too many bags. This is hit or miss, because we did it again several other times and we had no problems. But just, you know, fair warnings if you don't want to be embarrassed or pulled out of line or anything like that, that you keep whatever you buy in the stores at the airport, which we'll talk about that, in the bags that they give you. Luggage is pretty standard. It depends, of course, on the airline you're flying with, but with American here, you can take up to 50 pounds per checked bag. Pretty standard, just like domestic, so you'll have no issues there. And the checking of the bags is pretty easy too, especially with business class. You're going to be priority. You're going to get up there. You're going to get your bags all checked in and stuff, just like you would in domestic. Now, the cool thing is, with British Airways and flying to Dubai, is we got to check our bags all the way through, which means when we got to London, we didn't have to get our bags and go through security with the checked bags. A lot of times, like when we flew to Italy and Germany, we had to take our checked bags with us through security and recheck them. That was a huge pain. So it's really nice that this is at Heathrow, you don't have to do that. A little tip, when you get to London and you're going through security to go to your next flight or to leave and go into London or into England, Something different we had never experienced, because this was our first time, is they don't allow toiletry bottles or liquids just in a like a overnight bag like you normally would have. They make you put them into a plastic bag, and they have to be out, and you have to take them out just like your laptop or something and put them through security separately. It's the most annoying thing, and most people didn't know this because we saw tons of people in line on their knees pulling out all their stuff, putting them into these plastic bags, and it just seemed really stupid. Now the tip here is, if you're flying to London or through London, put all your liquids and toiletry stuff in your check bag, because then it's good to go. You don't have to do all that. And so when we came back, we had no problems, because we were like, we're not doing that again. We put them in our check bags and we moved on. Tip number 2, getting on board in business class is super easy. You're gonna go in after first class, and if you pick the right flight, the right things, like we really studied out the right airline, the right stuff, and we got the pods, is what we call them. There's a four pod lineup, you know, all the way. You got one on the window on the right and the left, and you got 2 in the middle. And since we were traveling together, we did the 2 in the middle. And if you're traveling alone, I highly recommend you get the window seat, because it's a lot more private, and you have a window that you can open and close. That's, you know, for you to look out if you want to. But we had a great, basically great experience. We had flown internationally before in economy, premium economy, and we didn't really mind it, but it was very difficult because when we needed to sleep, you couldn't lay down, and just a lot of different things. So we were like, we're going to Dubai, let's just do it right. And so we did it business class. So just remember, just like any time you get on a flight, get in, get your stuff above, and get into your pod. Like if you need to take stuff out and get it situated, because it's a long flight, it's like 10 hours usually, I understand that, but go ahead and put your stuff in your pod and get in your pod and start arranging your stuff and let people get on through, get people into the business class and economy. After everyone's on board, you're gonna have plenty of time to get your stuff back up in your thing or get back into your stuff up top, all that kind of stuff. So don't worry about that. And during the flight, because it's a long flight, you're gonna better get up and down. It's not like a normal flight. Now, because it is a long flight, tip number 3, you need to get snacks and drinks, especially water. Believe it or not, we on 2 flights had the flight attendants tell us they were out of water. And we were blessed because of both of our previous flying all over. We'd brought an extra big water just in case. So we had water, and you get super thirsty, especially if you're eating a lot of salty foods like you tend to do, like chips and peanuts and, you know, whatever they serve you, and you have snacks and stuff. You need to drink water and stay hydrated. And so we were really distressed by that. We thought that was very bizarre that they ran out of water. And anyways, the tip is always, just like all my other travel videos, once you get through security, you got there early, if you listen to me, go to a store and get snacks. Now don't get like one little bag of chips and one little water. Remember, this isn't a 2 or 3 hour flight. This is a 8 to 10 hour flight. You're gonna be there for a while. So get snacks. Yes, they're gonna feed you. On a flight like this, they're probably gonna give you at least 2 meals, if not 3. And it's gonna be like breakfast or lunch and dinner. We got that all the way through on all 4 legs. And it's usually pretty good. We had no complaints. It was really delicious. We thought it was really good food. If you get gassy in the planes like we do, I do recommend that you take some Gas X or something like that, or some natural thing that will alleviate you, or you're gonna be very uncomfortable or tooting everywhere. So make sure that you take stuff like that with you so you can eat and you can drink and you can enjoy and relax, because you need to sleep and watch TV, watch movies, listen to a book, listen to music. Just enjoy your flight. You know, you paid a lot of money, and you want to just be prepared for wherever you're going, whether it's for business or pleasure. So I always recommend, and what we did is we got a soda, like a Dr. Pepper, Coke, whatever you like. We got a big water. Each of us got a big water. And then we got some chips, some peanuts, and some sweets. That way we had a little bit of everything that we could snack on if we wanted. And a lot of airports in the international sections will have like big full-size Pringles or full-size bags of chips, and so you don't have to get the little snack ones and go through them. Stuff like that. Don't overdo it, but you want to get, you know, like a couple of bags of chips, a couple things of peanuts, some candy bars or some candy, whatever kind you like, and some gum. Definitely take some gum and some big waters, you know. It's just gonna, trust me, you're gonna thank me, because on one flight coming back from Italy to Canada, we didn't know this, and we thought they would serve us food, so we were in a rush, and we just didn't get anything but a drink, and we were starving because they didn't serve anything. For some reason they were out or something, I can't remember what. And I'll never forget looking over at a guy getting on board, and he had this big bag of chips, and I was like, what do you need that for? And I learned the hard way. So just trust me on this stuff. Even if you think Zacchus is wrong, I disagree, just buy it anyways, because you're gonna thank me later. Because when you're up in the air and you're traveling across the ocean, you can't go buy nothing, okay? Now, one thing to note here is you do get drinks, especially in business class. You get drinks, whatever, if you're alcoholic, or if you like soda, or you want coffee, you can always get that kind of stuff. They served me Dr. Pepper and water, and her coffee and all kinds of stuff all throughout the flight, so no problems there. But it's just in case, or they don't have something you like, or they served a meal that you didn't think was that good, and you're hungry. You just don't want to be there because you're stuck in that tube until you land. Tip number four, this is a cool one I learned. Headphones, entertainment, stuff like that, okay? So you think, oh man, I'm in business class, they got this big old screen, it's all free, and I'm just gonna sit back and chill, right? You bring your AirPods, or if you've been a subscriber of mine and you're listening to me, you got your Bose Quiet Comfort, so you're all solid and good to go. And then you get there and they don't have anything to watch, or everything they have is stuff you've already seen and you don't want to see it again, or it's just not what you're in the mood for. So once again, just like all my other videos, download your Hulu, download your Amazon Prime, download your HBO Max onto your phone or onto your tablet or both, and download stuff you like. If you're watching a show right now, download 10 episodes or something of it, or the whole season. Download some movies, download some TV shows, download some comedy stuff. Just have a variety, because you're gonna need this too, possibly overseas, because you may run into a hotel or something that doesn't offer a lot of entertainment, and you're like, I really just wanna watch my show and chill. So take my advice here, always do this. And if you listen to Spotify or you have Apple Music or something like that, download songs offline. Download songs offline that you can have with you, you know, and listen to them. Maybe the Wi-Fi goes out on the plane or something like that, or they don't have music you like, whatever it may be. Remember that every flight we were on had Wi-Fi, but one flight, most of the flight, the Wi-Fi didn't work. I got a full refund because I could never get connected. So we both had backups. The flight all the way home from London to Dallas, she couldn't find anything she liked, but she had a ton of stuff on her phone, and she just propped her phone up and watched her stuff on her phone, and it was good. You know, you're good to go. Now here is another tip. In business class, they give you nice headphones that connect into their system. Their system is not normal. It doesn't have Bluetooth, and it does not have a normal like RC jack connector. It has 3 prongs, one for left, right, and then video. I don't know, it's some old system. And I travel, if you follow me on my travel tips or my Zacchus travel channel, you'll know I use the AirFly Pro. The AirFly Pro is this little device by 12 South. So amazing. It works like Apple stuff. It goes into an RC connector, like a headphone jack, and it sends that whatever's in there, the audio from music or from the TV or whatever, through Bluetooth to your headphones. And this is how I normally work on planes, because most planes have a just normal headphone jack. You just plug it in, and I can watch the plane stuff through my Bose headphones wirelessly. But on this case, I realized I needed an adapter with a 2-prong plug-in with one RC stereo connection. So I can plug my AirFly into it and then plug it into the 2-prong, and it'll feed those left and right into my AirFly Pro and give me right and left. So most of the trip, all the way there, like 18, 19 hours and 19 hours back. I only had one audio in my headset because I couldn't find the adapter. I found it on Amazon. I'll put all these links down below, of course. Always all the links down below to things I'm mentioning, so you can check them out. You can buy it yourself if you want to. These are just tips that help me and will help you have a better trip, because they're things I didn't think about or know about. Tip number 5, I know this video is getting long, but charging. Everyone wants to know about charging. So if you're in business class, every flight we were on, except for one, had tons and tons of charging. Like, you have this little thing that opens up usually that has chargers in it. You have chargers right here by your head usually, and sometimes you have chargers down by the TV. Easily accessible, usually at least 2 to 4 at most. They're all like USB though. They're not usually plug-ins, so be mindful of using a USB. And they do have USB-C, but I brought my adapter from USB to USB-C just in case I needed that. But we had no problems. We like charged our phones the whole time. We had no issues. It was super easy, super chill. We also always bring a battery pack, this charge that will rapidly charge our phones quickly. So if we get down in an airport or something, or delays or whatever, we have that. And of course, away travel. I don't know if you've seen my videos on that, but I love away travel luggage. And my number one reason I love their carry-on is because they include a charger, a battery pack built into the luggage that has 2 ports on it. One's a fast charger. So you can literally just stroll down the airport or pop it out. It comes out and carry it with you. We've carried it all over places to charge our phones. We used it one time in the plane when we couldn't get a fast enough charge on our device, and we needed to charge it up really quick. So it's just nice to have that. I'll put that link down below. You need to check that out. If you're looking for a new carry-on, you've got to check out Away Travel. 100 days free trial. No questions asked. You can return it after 100 days of flying with it. You can beat it up. I mean, not literally, but like travel with it and get scratches on it, and they'll still take it back because it is so amazing. I've had mine for now 4 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, almost 5 years. And I love it. My whole family has it now. So that's just another little bonus tip right in there. The tip number 6, we're at tip number 6, sleeping. Okay, look, you've seen it all, I'm sure, but when you're in business class, the most beautiful thing about spending that money is not the big screen, not the pod, not the extra charging space or the extra space to kind of, expand out and relax. That's all cool. The coolest part of it is the seat laying down flat. When you're dead tired, like dead tired, it is the most beautiful thing. They give you a pillow, they give you a blanket. I mean, you got the air above you on American Airlines. You pop that air on, it was blowing so cool on me. And I'm in this little pod, right? So I'm really private, and I can just lay down and go to sleep. And I put my AirPod Pros in because they're smaller and they're not big like the things, but they're still sound, they cancel out the sound. And so just like went to sleep. We both went to sleep. And the cool thing about American Airlines on this 777, I think it's a 300 ER. Yeah, 300 ER is the seat is almost like an VIP theater seat. You can adjust it like you can raise the leg up. You can like bring it down a little bit so you're laid back a little bit. So when I was watching TV and I was kind of tired and just kind of over the long flight, I could just kind of like put my feet up and chill out a little bit, and I could adjust it all these different ways. Put the blanket over me. Just really cool. Really, really nice. Really, really just wonderful. Now, if you've flown in economy or even premium economy, anytime over 6 hours, you know what I'm talking about. There is just nothing more precious or beautiful than being able to just like sleep in silence, in quiet, because they turn all the lights off. You have personal lights in your pod if you need lights, and you can just sleep. Now, that is another subject for another day. I'm going to talk about it on another video on our flight from Dubai to London. But sleep is beautiful if there are no infants in your class. And I'm a strong component of airlines on international long-haul flights needing a family section, because it is the rudest thing in the world, and I'll get into this more later, but to spend the kind of money we spent, and to have, in one flight we had 4 infants screaming all night long at the top of their lungs for hours. That is just beyond rude. I mean, at that point, you have basically like held me hostage in this tube, and I'm dead tired. I'm trying to sleep, and all I can hear is screaming through my noise cancel headphones. 4 babies. So we'll get into that on that flight, but I'm gonna go through that whole double-decker plane and all that kind of stuff, and why I loved it, why I hated it, all that kind of stuff. But right now we're on the 777-300ER, and I've got one more bonus tip for you. If you're still with me, hanging on there, Zach's Nation. I can't wait for you to take your trip, because I know you're watching this because you're getting ready for your trip, and I do this too. I watch videos and get all ready. So this is a little bonus tip that I didn't know about that I thought you would help. It's kind of a two-parter. So in these big international flights, most of the time in business class and first class, there's one bathroom. There's tons of bathrooms, but there's one bathroom that's big. All the other bathrooms are the same small little bathrooms. And if you don't know this, you'll just go to the bathroom and think, oh man, this is just another plane bathroom. But if you watch and you look around, you'll find the secret bathroom. It's usually in between business and first. It's a big bathroom. I mean, like big. Like you can like do yoga in it. I mean, it is so beautiful. And you have a nice toilet, nice lighting, all that kind of stuff. And we didn't know about it. We found out about an accident and thought that all the bathrooms are like that. And then I went to the bathroom another flight on the same 777 and went to the one on the left, and it was small, and I was like, oh man, that must have just been on that plane. And then later I went and I found out, oh no, it's just that one bathroom. And so another really quick tip that I didn't know about, because on domestic flights, the call button like ding 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 for your flight attendant is a no. You don't touch it unless someone has passed out or there's an emergency, right? I mean, it's pretty well known that is for really emergencies. You don't want to be bothering the flight attendants. But on international flights, especially in first class and business, this does not apply. You don't want to be binging that button every 5 seconds, but you're on a long haul flight and they're there to attend to you. So if you want some extra nuts, or you need a drink, you're getting thirsty, if you want 2 drinks, if you want to see a menu for some snacks or something, or you're like, I need something, whatever, I need to know about this or need to know about that, you can click that button and they'll come to you. You can also get up and go to them if you want to stretch your legs, you want to save them from coming to you. Most of the time they want to come to you. That's more appropriate, and they like want to control the environment. They don't want you invading their space, because they're working and it's a long day for them. So you got to be mindful of that. Like I said, you don't want to be bing, bing, bing. But I wanted to tell you this because my first flight, I was like waiting for them to come to me. And I would be like super thirsty, but I was used to waiting till they brought me stuff. Like it was time for dinner, it was time for drinks. And they make normal rounds. They'll come by and say, do you need anything? Or it's time for dinner. What do you want to eat? All that stuff. There's a menu when you sit down in your seat. You can look through the menu. They'll normally take your order in business and first before you even take off, so that they kind of know what to expect, what's going on. And you'll pick an appetizer, your main course, and a dessert. And you'll get that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most flights you just get 2, maybe just 1, depending on where your schedule is. We got 2 on every flight. But I just wanted to tell you that because I read online afterwards, and she was like, I think you can just click the button. And so I didn't want to be rude, so I read online, yes, it's okay and appropriate to click the button and ask them, hey, can I get a drink? Or can't I, other flights I've pinged them and said, hey, I just want some more of those nuts you served when we got on the plane. Normally when you get on the plane in business and first, they'll serve you a drink like water or champagne or something like that, or wine, whatever you like. I don't drink, so I just get some water. And they'll serve you some warm nuts, either when you're on board or after you take off. Right after you take off and level off, they'll come around and give you some warm nuts or some little snack, you know, to just kind of welcome you on board and thank you for spending so much money with them. But I'm spoiled rotten. So if you guys have been flying business or you're about to fly business for the first time, you're in for a treat. Be sure though that you look at pictures. Google pictures find out when you're looking online, whether it's American Airlines or British Airways, most airline sites, when you're looking at the schedule and you're like, okay, Monday, 7 a.m., they'll tell you what jet they're flying. Like you can look at, okay, it's got a Boeing 777, 300ER. Then you can go to like SeatGuru. You can go to Google and Google that, like a Boeing 77, American Airlines 300ER, Boeing 77 300ER, American Airlines business class, stuff like that. Like put in some specifics and you'll see pictures of it. And then you'll go to SeatGuru and you'll see the seat alignment for that flight. And you'll kind of know, is it just a standard? Because not all business classes are created equally. In fact, a lot of business classes are just like first class in America in the domestic space. They're just bigger seats that lay flat, but you don't get a pod. You're just basically in a seat that lays flat. Nothing special. I mean, not that that's not special, but I'm talking about like flying in class. Like we picked pods. We picked flights that we were gonna get pods where we had like space. She had her space, I had my space. I mean, there's pockets here and pockets there and all kinds of, you know, just really chill out, spread out and relax because you're on the flight for a long, long time. So I just recommend that. That's what I do. And that way, you know, you're not guessing. When you book that flight and you finally sign off and pay that money, when you go there, you picked your seat and you know what the seat assignment is. And you can tell because they'll be turned in or turned out. But if they're stacked across normally, like 2 here, 2 here, and 4 or 3 in the middle or something, then you'll know that it's just a standard seat. A lot of international airlines like Air Asia or Air Thai or there's one in Korea I can't think of the name of, but they have business or even first class, but it's just domestic to them. It's just a one big lie flat, a little bit nicer than our domestic lie flat, but it's just a standard big seat. So I hope this helps you. I hope you have an amazing, amazing journey to London. I love Heathrow. I'm going to do a whole video on Heathrow. So if you're looking for information on that, click that subscribe button or look through my videos if you're coming across this later and you'll find it. You will find that video. I've got some great tips for you. Beautiful, amazing airport. And I'm going to tell you how to get through it, where to go, how to do it in style, all that kind of stuff. Hey guys. Thank you again for watching another Zach's video. It's so beautiful to see your beautiful faces. I love you guys so much and I will catch you in the next Zach's video. Peace.